So there's my camera, and I think we're live.
Okay.
So I'm Deshaun. This is my good friend. Oh wait, I want you to put your. Is it on there? Add your tag information. Oh wait, I'm not showing it. I want everybody to know. Your. Wait, why am I not showing the bubbles? Oh, here we go. There we go.
Oh, okay.
We don't need that part. All right. Now, hi, welcome.
Hi.
We were just on a Zoom. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Amrut. Amrut Prabhu. Yeah. I work as a developer in Berlin. I write a lot of my articles on refactorfirst.com, and I also publish videos about whatever I learn and what I like to share with everybody on YouTube. The same handle, Refactor First.
Wonderful. And we just came back from Spring IO.
Hmm.
I just made it back this morning. You maybe
Hmm.
got back yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was fun. We got to hang out. We got to talk about stuff. But we'd met before on Twitter, and we'd had conversations around multi-architecture, around ARM 64 and Raspberry Pi specifically.
Yes.
And earlier today, we got to do a little pairing, and then
Hmm.
we circled back. I had some meetings. We circled back, and one of the questions that you had was around, hey, how do I make this manifest? And instead of just doing it on Zoom, I figured, hey, let's just jump on
Hmm.
and let's just do it live,
Hmm.
and maybe I can help you and we can help somebody else at the same time.
Yeah. Makes
And it
sense.
sounds like a plan. So uh, I've done this before. I'm gonna now get onto a third computer, so bear
Hmm.
with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that, and while I'm doing that, why don't you tell me about your project? What's the space? What are we dealing with?
So, my project is actually like event listener for Home Assistant. So, Home Assistant is one open source project in which you can automate a lot of your aspects at home using sensors, using different type of inputs, and you can automate a lot of things. So my intention was to have a Java application which could read from WebSockets from Home Assistant, and then afterwards I could do implement my automations in Java itself. I want to do this all in Java because otherwise I would have to write a lot of YAML stuff
Of
in
course.
in Home Assistant, and it's not very flexible enough because it's very particular about various plugins, and I want to do this by reacting to events that come from the WebSocket. So yeah, so this is one thing. So I want to right now create the Docker images on my machine also, as well as so that I can deploy it on the Raspberry Pi also.
Right, this makes sense. You have Raspberry Pi's Home Assistant.
Yeah.
That's a popular platform for Home Assistant,
Hmm.
and you have your everyday laptop, and you
Yes.
don't want to have to deploy it to the ARM 64 in order to get to work as you're
Hmm.
doing development. And why not have it on both? That makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to add and present my screen, share screen,
Mhm.
this one, and we're going to switch modes. We're going to go like this, and
Okay.
we're going to first look at. Oops, we're going to first look at this project that we were just talking about. This dev. And this is it's popular. I get asked this question a lot. Everybody
Mhm.
um, understands kind of the value here, or a lot of people understand the value. So
Mhm.
let's just talk about how we might do it, how we might
Okay.
accomplish the same thing of building a multi-architecture
Mhm.
Docker image.
Okay.
So let me draw that picture. Let me do this over here, and I'm gonna save that real quick, and we'll draw some pictures so we can help kind of explain it, and then that'll make sense, I think. So let's get our pictures. So we understand like Docker image,
Mhm.
but I'm going to call it OCI image. And this OCI image, when you do like an inspect, it tells you which operating system it's for.
Yeah.
So hello, clicky computer. And on one laptop, it might be AMD 64. Well, then we both have these Raspberry Pis, and we wanted to run these Spring Boot images. Like that's the thing that
Yeah. Yeah.
got me excited. MNW Spring Boot build image. So that's what we were doing for a long time. Then we had this idea of native images. So I could take my Spring Boot application, I could compile it for ARM64 and
Yeah.
run it on a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
BNW-P -P native, and the same thing, Spring Boot build image. And because we're professionals, right?
Yes.
So the whole concept here is I could run these processes, and I could have an AMD 64 image, and I could have an ARM 64 image. But there's this cool concept of a Docker manifest.
Yes.
It's been around for years. Lots of your favorite. Right? So
Yes.
this idea is we take this AMD 64 image and this ARM 64 image and combine it.
Okay.
Into a manifest. The end user gets the image, yeah, with matching architecture. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, so let's do that. What does that look like? Well, the example I want to show, I want you to do, or I want to help you get set up. I like this combination of using GitHub and Circle CI. I use,
Okay.
GitHub Actions is pretty straightforward, and I'm happy to take feedback too. This idea of, hey, here's an example pipeline. So this is out there. I want you to do this as we're going through. So I want you
Okay.
to go into your repository, and I want you to copy this, and then we'll make changes. We can talk through it. So just all you have to do is take that AMD 64 native.yaml, copy it from this repository, and we'll switch it, and we'll figure out maybe a better way to do this. But hopefully I can walk you through all the steps, and we can get you building a multi-architecture image. And you'll be able to use that on your Raspberry Pis or on your daily driver, which might be Intel or ARM64. You're running an M2, right? You're running an M2. So this is kind of an exercise, because I think your daily driver is ARM64 anyways. So yeah, it works.
Okay. So let me check in actually.
So while you're doing that, I'll draw another picture over here. So I have my repository. It could be GitHub, GitLab. Right, and what I'm creating is a .github workflow. And I'm also creating this .circle CI config.yaml. .circle CI config.yaml. So over here in GitHub Actions, That's all it's doing, right? So I've got a GitHub action. I've got a Circle CI workflow, I think is what they call it. So do you want to share your screen?
Okay. Yeah.
Are you comfortable with that? You don't have to. Hey,
Let me
SEU James, thanks for joining.
let me first commit all the changes that I have, then we can
All right.
have a look at this.
So these are going to fire off at the same time, on commit.
Mhm.
And then I could do the manifest. I could do it anywhere, right?
Mhm.
I could do it locally. And what I'm doing in this pipeline is really, I chose to do it in GitHub Actions
Mhm.
and that kind of loop. Docker push manifest. Boom. That makes sense.
Yes.
So in my head, the way that I picture it, I have like an index at the top,
Mhm.
and then I've got kind of these optional ARM64, and this is what the manifest looks like.
Okay. So now I am ready actually. So
All right, so at the bottom, present.
mhm. Screen.
And I'll move this one.
I have to give permissions to my new browser.
Technology is hard. Oh,
Yeah.
you need to log out in
Yeah,
order to do
I
that?
would
Okay,
have to log
that's
out.
okay. Log out, click the same link, come back in.
Yeah.
And if you run into problems, you're on Discord.
Mhm.
So that's all we're doing. It's all right. There's no pressure here. I'm very comfortable. For those that know me, I'm very comfortable just doing things live. Uh, and sometimes it's just this type of interaction is easier than trying to explain it over a Twitter thread or other. So we're just trying to help out, I think, going through this process. And it's something I need to write a blog article about. I'm constantly pointing people to this repository that has these examples in it and saying like, hey, here's the examples, but I should probably go through and give like a step-by-step like we're doing here today. I want to go through and give a step-by-step out of like, hey, how to do this, how to make this happen. So that's what we're trying to do is just do a step-by-step. And SU James says he's trying to figure out S3 upload. So much documentation. I'm pretty sure that we have an example of that with Spring Boot, if you're comfortable with that. But yeah, we'll come back. Ask your question. If you got problems, let us know. SU James, I think you're on the Discord as well. Yeah, drop your question there. Let's get it taken care of. All right, so now you are able to present. Let's add yours, and then let's do this. All right, so you've copied it. So let's just go
Yes.
through what we've done here. So at the very top, we gave it a name. Hey, this is our native AMD because this is the one that we're doing in GitHub. And here I'm saying only do this when I push a tag. So we don't have to have that part. If we just want to practice, you can comment that out or you can remove it, however you want to do it. So it should be on commit or just on push, or
Okay, let's put
there's like a manual option. I don't remember the terms.
push, I guess, should be
I think it's
enough.
just on push without the tags. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that'll
that should
work.
be enough.
All right, and then we're setting up our jobs. So this is going to run. We're asking it for this kind of runner, Ubuntu latest.
Mhm.
The first step, we're setting up Java. So here we're asking for
Okay.
Liberica.
Mhm.
We're getting Java 17. We don't need GraalVM because we're using our build pack. So all it needs is library. It just needs a Java in order to run the Maven Spring Boot build image, right? So it's going to check out, yep, the main branch. It's not grabbing submodules, and build. Yep, you're going to want to run. I think that's going to be the exact same. Yep, MVNW. I think you're on the W on there. Yep. Clean spring dash boot colon build dash image, but you're going to want to put that dash P,
Do I need to put the dash P in this case?
dash capital P native.
Okay.
And that's what's going to pass the environment variables. In the boot build image, in that project that we pulled it from, we did that inside of the build image. So we gave that. So that's all that we need. So now log into Docker Hub. So I put 2 secrets here, and these are the secrets that are my username and my token for access, my access token. So if you want to go and do that, but that's all that you need. You're gonna need that in your secrets in Docker Hub or inside of GitLab. You can go do that, but we'll do that off screen. And then after we do that, then it's gonna push the image. So let's give it the name. So let's go to when you do that Spring Boot build image, what's the image name?
It's home hyphen assistant with the 0.0.1 snapshot, because that's what the version is right now. So it's actually this. So
SU James said, yes, I'll put a link out there. I know that there's an easy example. And then Simon's here. Hello, Simon. Welcome. All right. Yep. Do you have a Docker Hub set up? Right. So I need to update this. Like I should assume like these are some of the things. So I'm going to take some notes over here because I should say like, hey, if we want to do this. Give me 1 second. I'm just making a new file. I want to take some notes.
I usually use the GitHub ECR repo. So should we do it with that, or should we do it with Docker?
Yeah, do however you want. Yes. So the first thing is like, hey, this works with Docker or GitHub. Yeah, you just need those credentials. So I think if I write this up, I will do a, I'll just point to yours. You'll be the example that has Maven and ghcr.io. Right. So yeah, we're doing Maven. I mean, we have Maven or Gradle. They work similarly. Cool. So yeah, whatever you call those secrets, you have to have that. If you already have that, then wonderful.
No, I'll have to set them up.
Okay. And well, let's just keep going. So after that runs, what we'll have to do is we got to make sure that your image on line 34, we've got to make sure that that image name gets applied. Yeah. So in your project, when you're building it, you've got to tell it to use that name. Do you know how to do that?
I could provide it as...
You're at the right place. It's a configuration right under that Spring Boot Maven plugin. And it's just called image name. I think it's inside the image, and I think it's just name. Let me go look and see if I got an example. I don't remember these things off the top of my head. Yep.
Should
And
be
you'll also want to figure out how you're going to version it, unless you're okay with just overriding latest.
I think I can give it the
Yep, it'll get the artifact version number. Yep, you can do it that way.
project. Version, I think this should be enough, I guess, right? Or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna go peek and see if I've got any words of wisdom on these others. In the image, I'm looking at another project and another. In the image name, I have registry and version. You did project perfect. Oh, one more thing. We're doing this multi-architecture. So the image name that you put in that palm, you might need the operating system and architecture. So the way that I do it is I use a Maven extension.
Okay.
And it's in that same repository. Here, I'm going to drop you off the screen so that you can go and upgrade your passwords. And I'm going to jump on the screen.
Okay.
So, there we go. So in this repository, that's the Gradle one. I'm going to show you, I think I have a Maven one. Oh, you know what? I did it. I do have another example. I did it yesterday. Yeah, we did it here. We did it in the one that we were working on earlier. So we made this reference example, but I use this extension. And this extension has this project. So in my .mvn, I have this extensions.xml, and it pulls in this project. And this project allows me to add that architecture and operating system at the end. So I want you to make an extensions.xml, and I want you to put this. You don't need this extension. You can copy it; it won't hurt you.
Okay.
But I want you to put this extension in there. In .mvn extensions, just like we did here earlier. So while you're doing that, Simon says, one thing I've also been getting more enamored with compared to actions set up Java is the SDKman action. If you're using an SDKman RC file already, ooh, that's such a good idea. And Simon, do you have an example repository? I would like to do that in this project I'm looking at right now. I want to use that when I add the GitHub to this project, my Redis recipes, Spring Boot Geospatial. So if you could, in the meantime, find an example that's using that, if you have one, and we'll just go ahead and do that too. Because why not? So that's how I get around that additional step right back here. I'm creating two actions, and in the name, I have dash whatever project dot classifier or something like that, where it gives me the operating system and the architecture. So I'll show you an example of what it looks like. GitHub initializer++, these releases. So imagine these images that we build, the one in GitHub Actions for AMD64, the one in Circle CI for ARM64. Imagine them coming out with something like this: Linux-x86, Linux-ARch64. That's the extension that I want to put on those two images, on these two images, so that we can glue them together into our manifest. And then the manifest will just be called that name that you had without the extensions. So you can download the same manifest and get the one that you need. So I'm going to while you're doing that, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to
Mhm.
copy this AMD64. I'm going to copy all that, and I'm going to work on the project that we were working on before. This one we were working on together. And I'm going to do the same thing. So you let me know when you have your
Okay.
secrets set up.
Just creating one. Yeah. So I have created a GitHub token.
Okay. And you put it into your secrets.
Meaning it's already there in the secret section.
All right, perfect. Well, then I'll switch back to your screen and we'll keep on going.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Okay, so we are here. Let's go here, and this is my GitHub token. I think to refer to my
That doesn't really have to
username.
be a secret. It could just be your username.
Yeah, I can just put it directly right now.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so this
So-
is. Yep.
So it's going to generate, but now the push is going to be at the end of it. No, that'll be right, because the -A will grab whatever versions of that Home Assistant are there.
Mhm.
So any Home Assistant :latest architect blah blah blah, that's what's going to get pushed. Let's go back to your pom.xml and let's make sure that we're naming it properly. So in your pom.xml, because we now have this token or this
Mhm.
extension,
Mhm.
I want you to add this. I will put it into the chat for everybody to see. Boop. $, dot, or $, then the parentheses, os dot detected dot arch.
Second.
So on line 53, there you go. Yep, put a dash, then the $, there you go. So now it'll be your version 0.0.1 dash Linux dash AMD 64. Cool, that makes sense?
Yep.
So now this will work whether you're on ARM 64 or AMD 64. That version is going to be the right version to go into our manifest.
Yep.
All right, you're using the builder, my builder, that'll allow you to do AMD 64 and ARM 64, so that's great.
Mhm.
And let's go back. I think that's all that we need. So let's go back and look at our build YAML. You have the tokens in there. That's great. So the second part is the manifest. So
Mhm.
let's comment out that manifest setup
Okay.
for now. And let's just go make sure that this first part works. Comment that out. Let's go run that and make sure that it works. What we're expecting is that you're going to get a native image pushed to your repository that has the architecture and operating system of Linux x86. And the benefit here, again, is that this is what I got excited about, was being able to take Spring Boot apps, optimize them for ARM64 devices like Raspberry Pis, and deploy them. I didn't have to use Python because all the examples were in Python. And I could have a real Spring Boot app on this tiny little footprint, 512 meg, Raspberry Pi Zero device. That's pretty exciting. I'm still excited about it. I'm even more excited now because one thing I found out yesterday was these Spring Boot images that I'm building with 3.1.0 and the latest Graal VM are even smaller than they were just a couple of weeks ago. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay. So I had a subdirectory in which I pushed it. So let me actually take this out.
Yeah. No pressure.
Mhm.
Just don't put any secrets on the screen. As long as we do that, and I've made that mistake many, many times. As long as we don't put any secrets on the screen, we're good. All right. Is this repo public? Like, can we go look at it and watch? GitHub.com. It is the Home Assistant Listener Project. Is that the one we're doing?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so I have my workflow here, but I will have to now
Yep. Change it
change
to point to
my
the right directory. So you can make both apps in there, the dashboard app and the Home Assistant app.
Mhm.
But yeah, you'll need to make sure the paths are set up properly.
Yeah, I remember there was a work directory that I can specify, but I don't remember this now.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can help you. I will look at the same time. Workflow syntax is where I'm looking. Run name on. It would,
Oh, working directory. So
perfect. Did you find it?
no, that's not the right one.
Working dash directory, defaults run shell, working dash
So
directory.
this is fine.
So under the run, do I have a run?
Mhm. Working directory. And I'm going to specify assistant.
I don't see where you're making changes.
Oh, sorry. I was doing it on GitHub directly. Let me do it on this. Mm, okay.
Yes.
You can see that, right?
All right. So I see where you're at. I see your extension. Yep. Show me your workflow.
Let me this again.
You got an extra C in there.
Yeah, that's the community edition
Oh, got
for
it.
the C.
Got it.
I'll have to change my presentation again.
Simon says for Linux Mac, it's uses SDKman action. So if I use the SDKman action, it'll automatically read my SDKman.rc file.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and make those changes right now for this other project, and we'll sync up here.
Okay. So,
All right, so I'm over here. I put my screen up while you're doing that. I'm going to go into my Palm. I want to do the same kind of steps. Let's do it in my IDE. I want to do the same steps that I kind of asked you to do. Here, I'm going to make an image. The builder, Sean Builder, tiny. And then for the image name, I think it's just name. I'm going to call this. Oh, this is supposed to be in configuration. For the image name, I'm going to call it Deshaun. Then with dollar project dot version dash os dot detected Arch. So very similar, but now I'm going to do the same thing that you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I need to remove.
Simon says for your co-host, this is Amrut. Oh, did I take the labels off? If he feels like it, he could use the EAP of IntelliJ 2023.2 for free. They also enhanced the menu bar again. Thanks, Simon. Yeah. Rock and roll. So you're still making changes. You let me know when you're ready to go on screen. In the meantime, I'm going to do the exact same thing that we did, or that I had you do. I had you go to this. I had you copy this workflow YAML. So copy it. And I'm put it into new directory called .github. Whoops, I need one more directory. Right, it was in workflows. And then you called yours build.yaml. So then we put it in there, and I'm going to just call this, I'm going to leave it like that, native AMD 64. I'm also going to comment this out because I want to run it a little bit. Ubuntu latest. So this is the change I'm making on Simon's request. So I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to do dash uses, and he put it in the chat, SDK man / SDK man dash action v1. And then he has ID SDK man. Does that go on the next line? ID. Oh yeah, that's just the name of it, right? Wait, what is the ID? Should it be name? Is ID the thing? We'll just leave it there. We'll guess. That's what he said, so that's what we'll do. I'll also give it a name. And so now it's the same thing, but what that's going to need is an SDK man. Wait, I'm not sharing my screen, am I? Oh, man, that's ridiculous. I wasn't even sharing my screen. Hold on. I was sharing the wrong thing. I want to share. Oops. I want to share. Stop that screen. I want to present my whole screen. Is it this one? Screen one. I think that's right.
So right now, I reached the state wherein it's trying to build an image, but
oh wait, that was yours. All right. Yeah, I'm going to put you on screen. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. So what does it say?
It's the name that I've given.
Yep.
I think it's not matching this particular pattern. So this is because of this, I guess. Because
let's scroll up and let's see what name. Oh, okay.
Because of this.
Yep.
So let's give it a static right now version.
Yes.
Quickly give this a static version. So I'm going to go
Hello,
here.
Dan. Welcome. Dan, what we are doing right now is we're going through an example of building a multi-architecture image. So I'm going to pop this down. I will pop this back up, and I'll show you what we're doing. We have given a GitHub repo with a Spring Boot app. Let's say that I'm running on x86 and you're running on ARM64, vice versa. Like I want everybody on my team to be able to use this app that we have built in this repository. So we're actually going through the steps of making the GitHub actions and the Circle CI actions that are going to generate. GitHub is going to do our AMD 64 x86 version. Circle CI is going to do our ARM64 version. So then in our repository, we're going to have two images at that point. After, maybe this would be a T1. At this point, at T2, we're going to have two images pushed to our Docker Hub or our GitHub container registry. And then we're going to make a manifest, which is going to take both of those images and create a Docker manifest, which just provides an index and it separates it based on the host architecture. And then we'll push that architecture. So at the end, we do this. How do I don't even know how to do that. T3. At T3, we'll add a third image to our repository that won't have the extensions on it, that classifier. It won't have it. We'll just use that third image. It'll just be my project. And if you download it from ARM64, you'll get the ARM64 version. If you download it from AMD64, you'll get the AMD64 version. Yes, wonderful. Watch the replay. We'll be here and we'll go through it a couple of times for sure. But we're both doing it. So, are you ready to show your screen where you're at?
So I started building right now.
All right, it's building. I'm going to pull you up on screen. All right, so grabbing the image, looks good. And what we did, the change that you made was the version number.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I can show that. I just put in a static version number for now, and I kept the other variable that we need.
So I was showing you my initializer ++. Like these are those decisions that just automatic. I've got defaults. So with my little Spring Shell, I've made this initializer and I showed it on the screen. I made this little initializer. So I just put those things in automatically. So if I start this project, we'll show it. I'll get a version number automatically. I'll have the OS architecture automatically. And yeah, I like Simon's step of, hey, let's do the SDK man RC because it's so convenient to do it that way. And I think I'm doing that on Circle CI anyways. I think I use the SDK man orb on Circle CI. So let me just do that same thing. So what I'm doing on my Mac. So here's an interesting thing. I know from experience from releasing that initializer ++, the Graal VM image that's available on Mac is a different version than what's available on Linux. So I've got these. Actually, the Graal VM version that's available on Mac ARM64, like my M1, is a different version than what's on Mac AMD 64. So that's one of those things where I kind of got to be smart about the version number and making that SDK man RC the right version that'll work on all the different places that I'm deploying it. And I think you want that. Even though the one version is better, faster, I think I want to release so that all of the versions of the app are going to behave the same no matter which platform you're on. So having that SDK man RC file, I think is actually a better approach to what I've been doing because I'm going to have consistency. So yes, you right here. Again, you're making the point, and this is wonderful. So these native images, the native build that you're building it's working. It takes a little bit of time. While you're doing that, I'm going to go and make some changes. So we'll come back to yours. I'm going to go and do that exact same thing. So here's how it works. I have SDK list Java on this machine, and this is a machine that's a ARM64. So this is the version that I'm going to get. I'm going to get 22.3.R17. And there's 23.2 or 23.3.2.R17 that's available, and I would choose that. But this is my baseline. Oh wait, do I have 22.3. Oh, this is the latest, 22.3.1. That's the one I want to use. There is a 22.3.2 available. This is the one I'm going to use. Which one is the default? And this is the one that's marked as default. So if I do SDK init env, SDK init. What am I doing? env init, SDK env init, right? There we go. So now what that did was it created an SDK man RC that says, hey, this is the version I want you to use. So I'm using the SDK API for when I build. I'm always going to be using that version. The only place that breaks is on Windows. SDK man is not available on Windows, but we'll tackle that later, right? So this is still a much better step forward. So let's do this. Git add.sdk man SDK. Cool. What have I done? We got a couple of changes. So in we made the change already to use the SDK man. I don't think we have to make any other steps. Wait, oh, Simon says that you can run it on Windows. Oh boy, you're blowing my mind. We're gonna have to come back to that. You're blowing my mind. So we'll circle back. I love that. This is great. So here we are. I made my changes. Let's go back to yours. How does it look?
Okay, it's still building.
Still building. All right, 4.5. So yeah, just status check. We'll keep going. So here, do I need anything else? I have my GitHub workflow. I made the changes. I want to change my naming. I'm not doing Gradle build. I'm actually going to copy what you did. I want to do mvnw-p native clean. I don't have to do clean because I just did a checkout. I want to do spring-boot build-image, and because we're hardcore, skip tests. I'm going to log in, so I got to put that Docker Hub username and token as a secret, and that makes sense. And then this, I gave it a name in my palm, and I just need to copy that name. See this? I feel like I should be able to write this action to get this value somehow. So that's something for me to work on. So it's going to push all the versions that it finds of this, and I think I'm set. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to comment this out for now. Boom. So you and I are at the same page. I'm going to not share my screen while I copy over my secrets. And I'll go like this. You let me know when yours is done. In the meantime, I'm going to copy over some secrets to this repository. And so far, so good.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're close. It shouldn't take much longer. But while that's building, how about you go and grab the Go and grab the Circle CI config. Don't commit it yet, but you can grab that, and then we'll modify that next. All right. We did that. I'm going to jump off screen. I'm going to copy paste some secrets, but I'm going to do the same thing that I had you do. I'm just going to put my username in there. Everybody, all my stuff is on Deshaun. That's my Docker Hub username, not a secret. And then I'm going to grab that token, which I'm over here. I use a product called Bitwarden, which I'm a big fan of. If I can find the screen that is on. And I'll do my little secrets. And of course, I won't get it right on the first try. And I should have a token that I can use. And I'll put that token just like you did. And I'm going to name it the same that I had in the repository before. So I'm adding this to my Redis recipes Spring Boot geospatial project. I'm going, actually, I can do this. I can show this part. So I copied the token. It'll show it. And I'm going to secret the variables for my actions. I'm doing a new repository secret called Docker Hub token. All right, I'm going to paste that in, but I'll do that off the screen. Boop. All right. So now I have the GitHub token that I just updated. And now I go back to my actions. They're not there yet, but I think I have everything that I need to add mine. Git add dot add workflow. So now that's going, and that should process and do the same thing. How is yours looking? I'm going to add you to the screen. Is that all right?
I'm just trying to set the secret up again.
Oh, okay. I'll wait. While you're doing that, I'll go take a look because I added it. So it failed.
Yeah, because of the token itself. Oh, yours also. Okay.
Mine failed. It couldn't find version v1 SDK man action. So let's look for this SDK man action. This one. Oh, look at that's from Edu. We saw Edu at Spring IO last week.
Yeah.
So here. Oh, now it's all specific candidate. So I could do this on a Windows runner. That's cool. So it's saying, here we go. This is what we want. How come it didn't find that? Did I do it wrong? I think I just maybe. Boop. Did I do that right? Oh, wait, no. Yeah, be very, very careful with your tabs and spaces here. Looks good. Can I give it a name? Sure, right? And let's see if that works. How's yours working?
Okay, I updated my secret back again,
Okay.
and it's building.
All right. Simon says try master. We're gonna try this. Maybe I copy pasted something wrong. Let's take a look. Did I do the push? I did. Nope, not that one. Let's go back here. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So it didn't like that. So that at version 1, it couldn't find it. Why couldn't it find it? Let's go back and look at this. It has tags. Oh, this is an old project. But this was updated last month. That's so weird. So maybe there's a new one coming. So let's just do maybe it's main. And let's see how that works. If that works. And again, the other nice thing about this is, yeah, we know Edu. We can reach out and say, hey, like, are you using this? But I like it. Thank you for showing this. Let's see if this works. I tried main, and you're probably right. It's probably master. We'll see. Let's go back to my project. It didn't like that. So let's try. Oh. So it didn't find SDKman RC in the current directory. So we're we're now doing stuff with the main on my side. And it said your subscribed stable. Yeah. Could not find SDKMNRC in the current directory. Did I not SDKMNRC? That would be the working directory, right? We ran that. Okay. So here's my root, right? I have my SDKMNRC here. I'm getting help over here from Simon. Okay. But what I'm going to do now is I want to switch over to Amrut's. There we go. You are getting there 207. All right. So it was, you got to build, and then it was a problem with when it tried to push.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it was trying to log in and then
all right.
failed there.
Well, hey, so we're making progress. So the build worked. The AMD 64 build on GitHub Actions worked, and it was just a token permissions issue.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, Simon, I'm going to jump back to mine. We're doing this together. We're doing it live. I've switched over to this SDKman action, and it looked like there was other SDK actions, but now because you mentioned this one and because I'm a big fan of this guy, I want to use this one. So let's see. So the action installs any candidate via SDKman if inputs are provided, blah, 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 will be executed otherwise. So is there something different? If candidates from SDKman RC. So yeah, that's, I'm not sure why, but that's okay. So maybe it's just a path issue, but we can do it this way. On the Linux or Mac runner, we're going to do this. So I'm going to copy this stuff and I'll put it here. I like the SDKMNRC option, and I will point this to edu. Oop, I need this still ID. And we want Java, and I'm going to copy this value right here because that's what we want to use across the board. And I'll put that right here. And Simon says, hey, I'm about to head off to get some shut-eye, but gladly check out the SDKman on Windows. That would be awesome. I would love that. I would love that. That would be wonderful. So yeah, good night. Thanks for joining. You're helping us out. All right, now I think I've got a next step. So I'm going to do this push. I get and dot. Let's call the same thing and go. So I'm playing, and now let's jump back over to yours. You okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got. We're almost done.
Yep.
So hopefully this time it gets pushed, and
yes.
We'll see a version number, right?
Mm-hmm.
The native images build, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
That's why I want to do it in a pipeline. I learned this week that there's actually a quick version that does less optimization, but I found out in my testing on my not favorite laptop, I found out that it really doesn't save me a lot of time on the stuff that I'm doing on my biggest project. It went from like 8.5 minutes to 7.5 minutes, which is a long build, right? That's a bunch of projects. But like on a single Hello World, it went from like one was from 1:30 down to 1:20, so 10 seconds. So for me, not really worth it, the extra 10 seconds. So yeah, no biggie.
I think it's still trying to log into the this is correct actually. So I need to specifically mention.
So on that Docker login that I'm doing, maybe it's logging into Docker.
Docker
So
itself.
you might not need that step. So let's go back to yours because you're pushing to GitHub Container Registry. Let's go back to the build YAML. And let's just comment that out. You don't need to log into Docker Hub. But you'll need to log in there. So what you'll have to pass in on that command line is your token, right?
Okay.
Well, let's do this. Let's do the same thing that we're doing. Let's see if there's a GitHub Container Registry action.
Okay.
So let's look. Because this is great. There's got to be one, right? GitHub GHCR action. Working with Container Registry, GitHub Docs, automatic build, Gradle, GitHub Container Registry, GitHub Actions. Here we go. I'm finding one. Docker login. Cool. I see that. GitHub Actions. You have it. Build Docker image uses build push action. Here we go. I found an example that might work. Let me just do this. So let me put this. This is the URL that I just found. It looks like it'll work. So I'm going to put that in the chat.
Is this the one?
Similar to that. So that looks like a lot like the one that I was using. So I'll put my screen.
Okay.
So another action, this Docker build push action. So with that, you pass in your registry, your username, your credential, and then, oh wait, does that might not work because that's probably going to do the Docker build. Yeah, we just want push. So never mind. Here we go. Let's see what we can find. Here we go. That's what you need. You just need to add this registry line.
Yeah, that's what I think. I just need the registry line. The rest, everything should be fine.
Okay, you're back on the screen. Yep, so let's uncomment the Docker login.
Should I actually put this at the beginning just to be sure that it works?
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So that because it takes
fail fast, right? That's an example of failing fast. Great idea. Registry GHCR. Yep. Great idea.
This for now, and it should be good enough, I think.
Oh, look at this. I'm going to put this Simon's notes. I'm putting that on screen because that way it'll be recorded and we can come back to that. So excellent work. I do have Chaco. I thought I tried to do the SDK man stuff, but what I don't think I have is I don't think I have the maybe, but yeah, I have it on screen, so I got the notes recorded. I got the chat. Thank you so much, Simon. Get some sleep. Simon's in Europe, and I know you're in Berlin, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So I know Simon's.
So the login worked. So that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to build it, and we should be able to do it.
Exactly.
Excellent, Simon. Thank you so much. We'll get it figured out, and maybe we'll do one with SEU James later. He was on earlier.
Yeah, this will take a little bit of time.
All right. While you're doing that, I'll jump back over to mine, and
yes.
we want to. I got to get better at doing the stream stuff. So we're over here. This is one that failed before, and what we changed. We're still running into issues here, but it ran. And let's see where it failed this time. So it actually was doing stuff, but I don't see where it failed.
Can you go to the end, maybe?
At
it would show at the end.
Yeah, it didn't show all of the. It
Logs.
said compiled with exit 1, but it didn't show all the logs.
I think it just takes some time for it to load, I guess. No?
So let's do this. Let's do the same thing that you did. Let's fail fast on this login. I'm going to move that up. So in one thing, it's just I need something else. I want to redo it. And yeah, let's go ahead and put it at the top. Okay, so
Yes.
log into Docker Hub, and it looked like that worked. Install the SDK man.
Yeah.
Check out. We expect that to work, and then yeah, let's see. Let's see. So now we've got to change. So yours is working. Mine's going to do the same. And let's see. Last time it failed, 1:22 minutes. Let's see. So all the steps we've already outlined what it's doing. Login worked. Okay, SDK man, great. It's installing it. I'll bet you there's a way to cache that result, but it doesn't take too long, so that's great. The nice thing about SDK man. Repackaging. Good. How's yours coming along?
Close.
All right. You let me know when that finishes. And while this is doing, all right. Oh, look at we're checking out. Good. We're building image. So this should take a while. Look at that. We got further than what we saw in our logs. So that's good. It's doing the JGitFur. Okay. It feels like this one is on the right track. This is the last step. Build an image. And I've done that before, right? We're copying from an existing workflow.
Okay. I missed something.
Let's see what happened. I saw red. Let's scoot. It was doing stuff. Fatal compiling release. Okay, so it's my action. I did not get the SDK man that I expected. Okay. Well, that's all right. We'll come back to that part.
Could it be because it was not set as the default part?
I think there's a working directory version issue that I need to work out with that action, and that's okay. So I can go back. We can come back to that. We have an example, right, where we can do this same thing. Right, this is what I'm doing. So I can use this for now, and we'll come back to that. So I'm going to comment this guy out, and I'm going to put back the other one that we know works. And we'll do that. We'll do the SDK man action on another stream, but this one should work. Good. Okay. So this one, high confidence. I would like to do the SDK man approach, and there's other SDK man actions. But let's go back and let's get one that works. Boom. Okay. So we made it to 1:15 before. Now let's see if we're good to go. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna grab another one. Hold on. Still trying to recover. All right. How's yours doing? Oh, I can see that yours is still moving.
Yeah.
So is
I
mine.
think it's reaching the last steps now.
All right. There's 7 phases in that action.
So right now it is pushing the image.
Let's go back. Let's go. This is a victory.
Oh yeah, there we go. It's complete.
We did it. Build successful.
Build is
Yes.
done.
Let's show it off. We did it. So
So,
problems on your side was just credentials, getting the right thing.
yeah.
We had to register to the right registry, log into the right registry. That was a
Okay,
problem.
let's
Hey,
see.
we
This
moved
is
that
the
up. We did the fail
packages.
fast. So now you have a boom. Wait, why does it say version 001-snapshot? Didn't we? Oh, that's 16 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should now have a new. Those are packages. Yeah, not. Yeah, you want it would be in your repository.
Repository.
Wait.
No, it shows up here. There we go.
There it is. Yes.
The one.
Victory.
Yeah.
All right.
Finally.
So let's do this. Let's do it proper. I'm going to change this screen like here. And I'm going to grab a little screenshot. Oh, whoa, wrong. That's not the thing I want to do. I'm going to grab a screenshot over here. Where is it? I got all these screens. I don't know where my mouse is. There it is. All right. All right. You're going to have to say cheese on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese.
Cheese.
All right. We got it. Save that. Good times. Good times. We did it.
Yeah.
But that's only part 1.
Yeah. Now,
now
we
you
have
got
to
it.
look at the.
Yep. Now let's go to the Circle CI part. So mine is building, but I want you to go and grab that Circle CI. Yep.
That's the.
And it's got to be in .circleci/config. I'll do the same. So I'm just copying the Circle CI config from the same place that you did, and I'm putting it into my Redis recipes. Right, it's in a Circle CI directory. Yeah, and it's called config.xml.
Okay.
Adding that to my repository. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it got all funky on me. Oh, because I called it XML. It's config.yaml.
Because I'm using Circle CI, I will have to set up.
Yep, secrets in Circle CI. So I'll take you off screen.
Yeah.
I'm going to rename this. Oh boy. I'm going to take you off screen, and I'll put my other one back on screen. Cool. And I'm going to do the same thing. So you go set up your Circle CI. Have you used Circle CI before?
Nope.
All right. Well, the good thing to know is that it's free. There's a free tier.
I can figure it out.
Yep. It's pretty easy to set up. I did it on stream, and I was absolutely surprised at how easy it was to get started on Circle CI. And that's why once I've done it, I never looked back. Now I just heard a beep.
Oh, that's from me because
okay.
I opened Circle CI.
I wasn't sure. Like, oh, okay. So wonderful. I am going to copy this raw file. I'm going to do it this other way. And I'm doing the same thing. Copy and I'll paste. So I copied it from the same directory, override it, boom. So now what I'm doing, let's take a look. Version 2.1. This is what's working already in the gateway project that we were referencing. This one is using the SDKman plugin. So it's doing this. It's using the same version. So it'd be nicer if I could use the SDKman RC file. But here we go. Check out, set up SDKman, install it, then run this. But here we're not doing this. We're doing mvn w spring boot build image. And that's just the name, right? We're not doing anything fancy there. -p native. And I'm just going to put that same thing down here. /mvn, oops. /mvnw -p native. Yes. Done. So that's what it's going to do. So we get the exact same result on the GitHub side. as we do on the Circle CI side, except Circle CI, remember, is running an ARM image. And I'm going to do the same login. I have that already set up. The image is not going to be called this. The image is going to be called the same thing as it over here. So let me fill that in. Boopity boop. And then it just says, hey, go and run this with this context, which is already set up. It already has my my secrets, and it'll only do on the branch. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that in there. I'm gonna leave that in there, and I'm gonna do at the same time. I'm gonna go back over here, and I'm gonna say, let's do that. So I'm gonna make it so it's only gonna do it. It's only gonna build those images when I make a version. And the other thing, because this is the last step, I'm gonna add this manifest step. Now I could do the manifest step on either side. I could do it on Circle CI or on GitHub and just follow the same pattern. But because I've already got it on the GitHub side, let's just do it on the GitHub side. So I'm uncommenting the manifest creation, because what I expect, let's go back here. What I expect is we already did this part of the AMD part. Now we're doing on Circle CI. We're going to build the ARM64 version. So that's T1. When I do a commit, it's going to look if there's a version. So now I'm looking for a version tag. Okay, so if there's a version tag, then it's going to fire these off. At T2, at this point in time, I will have an AMD 64 and an ARM 64 image, and then we'll circle back, and this time on GitHub. We're going to grab both of those images. So what we're going to do is on GitHub, it's after it does the AMD 64 build, after it does the native build, then it's going to log into the same thing, log in. It's going to try to pull an ARM 64 version of that same image. So let me fix the name. Dev.sean.function.redis.hash. And it'll have that same version in Arch64. So if it doesn't find it, let's say that the GitHub action fired off and it was done faster. If it doesn't find it, cool. Just retry. Wait 60 seconds and retry and pull it down again. So yep, my GitHub action is going to take a little while. No big deal. It'll only try it 6 times. Hopefully that other version's done. This is just an example. I don't know how often it actually has retried in the past, because they should finish about the same time. But then what we're going to do, this is where the magic happens. We're going to create a manifest. Again, I got to replace this value. We're going to create a manifest where I'm just saying, hey, create this image with this version name without the architecture. So 0.0.1. And for that 0.0.1 manifest, I want you to use the x86 version, amend the x86 version, and amend the ARM64 version. That's what we're saying in that line. Create a manifest, and in that manifest, amend these 2 different versions. Do this. So it'll look like this. I'm creating a manifest, and I've got an ARM64 amended, and I've got an AMD 64 amended. That's what we're doing. And here, what I've done is I said, hey, push that with that ref name, that 0.0.1. And then I said, also create a manifest using the latest version and do it again. So that's what we're doing. I think this is going to work. So I haven't fixed all the naming. So let me do that. I want to make sure we have all the names. And there's probably a way to make that a variable that I can use. That's something else that probably be valuable on stream. But let's get rid of all the gateway, because we're not doing gateway on this one. Let's make sure. Is there any other gateway? No. Okay. So I'm ready to push this change. How are you doing on your Circle CI setup?
I've done the setup. I put in the password, everything. It's all ready. In the environment variables,
You're
I'm
setting up your
searching.
context. There's a
Yeah,
context. So I can show you what
context.
that looks like. Hold on one sec. Add circle CI.
I did all the context and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
So everything that is ready. I'm just trying to figure out how I can specify the GitHub CR.
Yep.
Um,
So let's go to circle CI. Circle CI. And I'll do those steps. So I'm going to log in with GitHub. Cool. And I made a project. Here it is. So now I'm going to set up the project.
mhm.
You see my screen? I'm going to just click
Yeah,
on
yeah.
set up project. And then this is the fastest way. I already put the circle CI config in there. So that's the fastest way.
Yeah.
And
You have to give the branch name.
yep,
Yeah.
name, set it up. And good. So now it's set up on circle CI. So now what? Now what? Well, now I want to build this. So now what I want to do, and I should put this into my README. I think I have a copy over here somewhere. Oh, I didn't put it here. Let's do this. Copy and pasta. So we're just gonna, and the README is just my notes to me, right? So let's go and let's replace this with dev.sean.function.redis hash. No, that's not right. With Redis dash recipes Spring Boot. Oh, you know what? I was naming the files hash, and I meant to name this is the spatial project. So I gotta go rename Redis recipes Spring Boot Geo spatial. The hash was the one I did before replace all. Cool. I'm gonna take those out for now. Spring Cloud. Oh, this is a Spring Redis recipe for Spring Boot with geo spatial data types. Okay, there, prerequisites, Google, Java 17, yes, same. Quick start, perfect, yes, done, except this is MVNW Spring Boot run. Build the native image again, and oops. Just updating this real quick, MVNW. And every time I do this in a README, I'm thinking in the back of my head that I want this done in my initializer ++ project. I want to just make, hey, this is what a default README is. This is how I do it. Because I'm doing the same thing that I always do. Spring Boot build image -p native native image test. I'm going to comment that out. We'll come back to that later because that's a really cool feature. Yep, it does use the builder tiny builder. Yep. Perfect. See also, yeah, good. And this is the part that I wanted. Tag and release. Okay. Did I put a license file in there? I didn't. I'll add that. Copy pasta. So now I have the license and we're all set. And then I got to go fix my image name. So I was doing hash where I want this to be geospatial. So I'm replacing hash with geo. Oh, maybe there wasn't any more in there. Excelente. And then over here in the build, I want to replace hash. Replace hash with geospatial. 4 of 10. Replace, replace, replace. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do that right? Here. Yep, I think that looks right. So now git add dot, git commit, fix the name, fix image name. Wait, I didn't do it over here. Fix image name. And what else did I do? I think that was it. Oh, and I added the README. So git push. But now, because I want those to fire off, remember in both of those workflows, I put that -v, like only do it when there's a version. And in my build, I've got a version 0. Except the way that I'm releasing my stuff is I'm releasing it by the tag. So I don't have to worry about the versioning scheme. Everything will match. So the way I'm doing that, and that's why I added this to my README, is all I have to do is git tag the 0.0.1. And then I have to push that tag, git push origin the 0.0.1. Now, both workloads should fire off. We should be all set. How are you doing?
I pushed in the config right now. It's giving me a warning that I need to the
Can I-
organization admin must opt in for using third-party ops for HTML.
Yes. So can I put you on screen?
Yeah.
Or here, no, I won't even do that. I'll show you. That was in the organization settings.
Yeah.
Policies.
Okay.
Where did I do it? God. I know exactly what you're saying, and it made sense.
They told me like it's in the security section. So I went to the security section and then
Oh, here it is.
I have to say yes. Okay.
There we go. So yeah, you can see that I've done it as well.
Yeah. Now I'm going back.
I'm going to pull you on screen now because I don't think you're showing any secrets. Yours is more interesting than mine.
So how do I re-trigger this?
You can re-trigger it. Click on the project. Maybe click on that run. There's a way to just re-trigger it. Click on that home. Yeah, right there. Project settings, or maybe just do another commit.
Okay.
Worst case.
Let's do that then. I was wondering if this is the right thing to specify a working directory.
On Circle CI. I don't have an example, but it's worth a try. If you Googled it, it's probably right.
And I need to specify the repository is there already because it's configured. So let's give it a space and push.
So now that you committed it, it'll kick off both sides. It'll kick off the GitHub side and the Circle CI side.
Yeah.
So let's go take a look at your GitHub side. We know that your GitHub side works. So cool.
Yes. So this is the GitHub side.
Yep. So it's fired. You could stop some of those. They all don't need to run. But now the other part that I showed you earlier is my JGitver, which you already have. You could do the exact same thing that I'm doing because you already have the extension installed. You'd be missing one file. You'd be missing one file, I believe, and that's the JGitver config. And I can give you an
And
example
the
of that.
extensions?
Yeah, give me one sec. Let me find it.
I have that, I think, here.
You have the extension installed, but then there's a way to configure. You can take the defaults.
Do you want me to take this?
I will show you. Oh, there you go. You already got it. Perfect. Yeah. So now, if you want, right? Because now that we're developing and your GitHub side is working, you could re-add the tags that say, "Hey, let's only build those native images when I release a version." Why might you want to do that? Well, you're using a lot of minutes, right? We only have so many minutes free that we're getting, and we don't want to abuse. We want to be good consumers. So that's a way of making sure that you don't get a bill, right, for using the runners. And then it's on purpose. So that's why I have that as kind of a default mode. So what I should do is I should make it so that the things that you and I just did, they're pretty consistent, right? It was pretty easy back and forth. What I should do is I should add this Circle CI and GitHub config, and I should add some naming conventions. Maybe use the project name and the project artifact ID as a naming convention for how I release artifacts. And then that would just make this process that much easier. So we can just check the box, bang, 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 and every project gets released the same way. There's a lot of value in that. I'm not a fan of having GitHub Actions and Circle CI all over the place. But if I've got something like a CLI tool, or call an API that I could plug into my pipelines that'll keep that updated, then that's okay. I think the better approach is to have some external pipeline CI/CD that just knows which repositories I want to build, and it's watching for commits, so I don't have to copy. Because if I have 100 of these apps, right, you and I are just dealing with 2. If I have 100 of these apps and I decide I want to change from the Java version set version action to the SDK man action, I got to go change it in 100 places.
Yeah, true.
Right, and that that leads to problems. So one approach would be to do a shell CLI where I could just say, hey, go run this against all those projects to limit my mistakes. Another approach is to do it in something like Cartographer, where I've got a supply chain and says, hey, I'm watching these repositories and make these changes and build things this way. So these are things that we could do.
Okay.
So are you ready to go? Do you want to make those version tag changes? I'll jump on the screen while you do that, and I will take a look at the progress on this side. So we're building. We expect that we have builds, fix the image name. So that's still going. It started 6 minutes ago. Oh, but this one's doing both doing the build image here and the manifest. So go look on the Circle CI side. Not that one. I was on Circle CI. And I had to do pride. Oh, and it failed. So my Circle CI failed. Where it tried to do the Docker push. Something failed. Here, the push refers to this repository. This tag does not exist. This tag does not exist. Let's see if I can see. When I build the image, it builds. Oh, it doesn't have the V. You see that difference? So I have to change that real quick. And that's the difference between the Gradle project, its OS architecture thing, the way that it's the difference between Circle CI, the way Circle CI gets versions and the way that Gradle gets versions. But how did I do it? I know what the fix is. So this is something that you'll probably run into. So let's go over here. I'm going to my image name, and I'm changing it from project.version. I need a V. Project.version. I think that's the only thing I need. I'm going to go look at another project that I have open. Make sure. Yes. So I put that V in front of it so that it matches the actual release. And I should be in good shape. So then let me commit these changes. Git add V to version. Okay, push that. Nothing will happen because I haven't done a release yet. But now let's go and fix my workflows. Here I grab it all. I push all versions, so that's good. And then here the GitHub ref name will have that V in it.
Okay.
So I think we'll be okay. The GitHub ref name will have the V. I think that's safe. And then over here, I think we're good. All right, let's try that. I don't think I need to make any other changes. But let's try this. We're going to call this V002. Oops, 2. And push that. So hopefully we got a build. So we're trying again. I can close this. Again, this is another reason why it should be done so that these types of processes are automated. It's not, conceptually, it's not a hard project. It's just getting all the things right. That's why that Initializer++ project could make this a whole lot easier. So I'm pulling you up on stream. It looks like we're good. So your GitHub side ran.
Yeah.
And you pushed a image.
Yep. Yes. So that actually pushed.
Wonderful.
Yeah, pushed.
All right. So now let's go over to the Circle CI side.
This is the Circle CI side, but I'm not sure how am I supposed to view the steps.
Okay, it didn't run. Okay, let's take a look at your Circle CI config.
Maybe because of the working directory thing, did it not work?
Yeah, let's scroll down. So we didn't change. We didn't change the image name. So we got to change that.
I thought like it would at least start off from here and then it would fail and I would see what happens, but then it needs the entire thing set up already.
Nope, because scroll down and you see that we've got the filters where it's looking for that tag. So it didn't run.
Okay.
So
and
whatever you called your security context.
Yes. And Circle CI tag.
You want to leave? Oh, okay. So I made some. In order to get consistency across both, because you've got to know what that Circle CI tag is when you build the manifest. You got to know what to look for. So this is where you might want to leave your filters on and put the version so that you can do it on both sides. So those tags are the same on both sides. And you're grabbing the exact same.
So if I
leave that just like that. Yep. So what you'll need to do, don't leave that. What you'll need to do is, in your I bet we have to do on your Docker check. I bet you have to add the repository.
I was trying to search how to set this. Like, is it the registry?
So if you scroll up to the top, you'll see the orb, the Docker orb. So search for Circle CI/Docker.
This?
Yep. Search for that orb is what I would Google. So that's the name of the Docker orb. That's it. And the orb is like the action that you run, and then that's where we'll get all of our configs. So go to Google.
Wait, what just happened? Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
Circle CI.
This.
There you go. Orb.
Oh.
There you go. Scroll down. I see it down there. 2.2.0 right there. There you go. Docker check. On the left-hand side, there should be a job called Docker check. There you go. Click on that guy. Registry.
Yeah.
Yep, you had it.
Correct. GitHub
There you go.
That should be good.
Yep.
This is also good.
So now you've got to make the same changes that I did. Go to your pom.xml.
And I have to add
a V. And then, yep, $project.version.
But let's change the product version to not include this.
Yep, you can just change that to 0 because now you're using the JGitver.
Yeah, let's make it 0.
Yep.
Okay, so V0 - the archetype. Okay, this should be good, I guess.
Yep. So now you want to go to your GitHub action. We commented out that version stuff at the top right there, line 7 and 8, all the way up, or 5 and 6. There you go. There you go. I think those are the changes that you need.
So this is going to
behave the same way. So now
okay.
The images are only going to be built when you've tagged a release in your GitHub repository.
Okay. Yeah. That's what actually that we want.
Yep.
Okay.
And now you can uncomment that manifest part, and let's build that. Yeah, we got to do some search replace. So starting with the registry, you got to add your registry there for your login. Yep, you can copy line 26 or that. Yeah. There you go. And then you're going to pull, okay, it's your image name. So ghcr.io/, yep. Yep, you can leave the rest. That's exactly what we did on the other side. And then, yep, search and replace. Perfect.
Amend, push, create, amend. I think that should be good. So you create the manifest here.
Yep.
Amend the rest for 64 here, and the arc. Let's go 64. Then we push.
Yep.
This.
Yeah, and you didn't have to do line 67 to 68. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I just like having tags. The
Okay.
latest tag.
Aren't they the same command?
They're the exact same command. Run
Okay.
twice.
Okay. Let's maybe them up. No? You don't need them right now, right?
Yep, you don't need it right now, so you're good.
Okay. So circle CI changes and build. Okay. Wait, let me check if I have pushed in. No, I don't think so. I did. I need to do this right.
So while you're doing that, I will pull up and I will show that what we're doing here is actually, working. So I've got my geospatial ARM64 version pushed from Circle CI, and then the manifest worked. Let's go over here and show the action. Oh, let's refresh, hopefully. Wait, maybe it didn't. I did this add V. Oh, hi, sweetie pie. So my kids are home. So let me take a look here and see what the last thing is here. So my manifest, when it couldn't log into Docker Hub. So I did something wrong. But I can see over here, I have in my geospatial repository, I've got an x86 version and an AARch version, but I don't have the manifest. So hold on one sec. I'm going to fix this manifest step. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to fix this manifest step, and then our mission is accomplished. So I did something wrong, and it's probably something that I had you do wrong as well. So let me go and see what I did wrong in my GitHub workflow. Maybe you fixed it. It said the login failed. Secrets. Oh, because I didn't pass in the secrets. I needed to push. I just used Deshaun there. So that ought to work. So git add dot, git commit, fix username and manifest, git push, and then I'm going to create a new tag so they both run. So I'm going to tag mine 3, and I'll push that. So I'm feeling pretty confident here. I'm feeling pretty confident that this is going to work out. So I've pushed all my things. How are things going on your side? I'm going to bring you back, your screen back on. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. What did you run into?
So, I think I broke my build. No? No. This is correct.
Okay.
But it didn't run it because right now we are going to build it. Yeah, I have to create a tag for this.
Okay. Did you see how I did that?
Nope. But
Here,
I can.
let's do that. So I'm going to jump back on stream.
Create.
I'll show you the steps. Yep, I created a tag, and it could be anything. Git tag B, and it doesn't have to be 0.0. I don't think. But it's, hi. I'm just wrapping up a stream.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take Lizzie to get her.
Okay. All right. Love you. So after you create that tag, I've already done 001, 002, and 003. After you've done that tag, you push that tag up to the origin, and that's what tags it inside of GitHub, and that's how we move forward.
Okay.
And hello, Icon. I'm coming to Detroit, and with my daughter who just snuck out. I'm bringing my daughter to Detroit at the end of June, so we'll sync up on that and see if we need to spend a little extra time and hang out. But thank you for joining the stream. We are building multi-architecture Docker images, and not just that. I'm helping Amrut put these into his repository and do the same thing. So I've got an example. So How's it going on your side? I will jump back and look and see how's it going on my side. Hey, it's working over here. One other fun fact is usually these run faster. That's why I had the GitHub side do the manifest part, is because typically the Circle CI builds, the ARM64 builds on Circle CI completed faster. So he says blah and same as usual. All right, I get it. I get it. So let's see. We should be in good shape. I'm feeling pretty good. I've run into enough problems. Hopefully, I found the problems before you. But again, I'm constantly reminded that I need to add this to my initializer, so we don't have to deal with this. And you should add it to yours too. You should have something that just automatically puts the stuff the way that it needs to be for whatever your pipeline is.
Exactly.
So let's see.
So right now, at least it's building here.
All right. Yeah. Same. So it takes a little bit. So it started 3 minutes ago. The last time it took 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So I got a little bit of time. Let's go back over here. And this one took 6 minutes and 38 seconds. So we got a little bit of time. So I'm going to pull you back up on screen. How's it going? It's working. All right. We're getting there. So now you got a version I can see there. That's wonderful. V0.0.1.
So this one's building here and this one's building here.
Excellent. So that's the other benefit of using the Circle CI for the ARM64 and GitHub. There are other options too. There's other platforms that we can use that are free to use. You know, GitLab is a great one. I don't know if GitLab has ARM64 runners. That's actually a great. I feel like or maybe they announced it in preview, but I don't know yet. But like GitLab's another platform. I know there's a Jet build that has ARM64 runners that's not free, but it's cheap, affordable. Yeah. Let's see. GitLab runner does not currently support.
Not yet.
But that's the other cool thing about GitLab is you can run GitLab locally. GitLab is all open source. The whole thing is open source. So you could build your own stuff. And I talked about already, I would much rather have a centralized build process over these files in every repository. Because what I want is I want to just change the way I go to production in one place and then have it all the apps that are trying to go to production. I want them just to be built the same way. I don't want to have to change 100 repositories just because I change a Java version or something like that in my supply chain. So we could have fun with this. We can explore more options here. My builds are still running as well. So what do you think? Was this worthwhile exercise? Do you feel like you learned something?
A lot.
So what did we do? I'm gonna bring mine back up here, and I'll talk about. Does this all make sense? Does this drawing make sense?
Yes.
That maps like, hey, just in a repository, on commit. What we're doing now is we're looking for a version tag because we don't want to do this expensive build process every time. So I can still push and do commits, and everybody can stay updated. But once we release it, then go and build those images that have the classifiers on it, AMD and the operating system, because you might do more than just Linux images. And then, then create a manifest after both of these are complete. Then create a manifest with both images. And that's what the manifest looks like. It's just got an index for the artifacts based on the different architecture. And then that way, in your Docker Compose file, for example, you don't have to worry about which platform you're deploying it to. If you're running that Docker Compose up on M1 or M2, it'll be the exact same file as Docker Compose up on x86 or AMD 64. And more, right? ARM64 is not going anywhere. And more people are using it. So more and more projects are delivering software this way. So what you've now done today is you've kind of following this pattern. We've learned a couple of things. We've learned a couple of cheat codes. I think that we identified some places where we can fix it and make it easier for others. But so far, so good. I think it's working.
Yeah.
Does that all make sense?
Yes.
All right.
A lot.
Yeah. I'm going to grab another screenshot because, so you say cheese on 3. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. All right. Got it. I think that's a good explanation of what we're doing. Let's go take a look. So I'm done. So my build ran, my manifest creation ran, which means that my Circle CI project ran successfully, and then I should now have a new tag in this same thing. I should have a new tag. Look at their latest and V0. So without the architecture, that means in this one image, I've got both. Right. So before I had the x86, I got the ARM64, but then up here, this is a manifest that has both layers, it had both images in it. And if I do a Docker pull, let's show that. Let's show that off. Okay, so this is on, I'm going to go to new, or actually I can do it over here. No, I won't do it here. New window, homebrew, hello.
Okay.
If I
So
do a
for
Docker pull, Deshaun, dev.function.redis.geospatial. If I do this Docker pull, latest, I'm on this machine, I'm on ARM64. It's going to go pull it. Oh, I'm not connected to Docker. I got to start Docker Hub. So I didn't have Docker installed or running. Where's Docker? How come my Docker left my little my taskbar? That's weird. I think I used it enough.
So apparently in my
I'm gonna pull you back up on.
yes, so
What did
I'm
it? What
getting
what
this
failed?
error for the login part because I have to add this thing in front of the environment variable. I guess.
Expand. Oh, did you call it Docker username? Yeah, I'll let
No,
that. That's
I
secrets. I don't want to put a secret up on the screen, so I'm gonna put
No,
mine back up.
I didn't put it in, so it's a direct username here. Oh no,
Right,
not this
so
one. Sorry,
there's the
this
username.
one.
Yep.
Oh,
Hey, there we go.
do I need to specify a dollar here because it's an environment variable?
Yeah.
All right.
So let me look at my example here, and we'll get you all straightened up. So let's in the Circle CI config. Oh no, I had Docker Hub password.
Exactly, meaning I tried doing the same thing.
And you had the context set right. So I'm
I
wondering.
Recheck again if my context.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's like a naming convention around that Docker that needed the specific Docker Hub password instead of
Docker pass.
Yeah. So I'll let you work with that. But now, like I said, my kids are home.
Okay.
So I need to go say, and it's late for you.
Yeah.
So we have a working example. The nice thing is we did this in parallel. So on my repository, I kind of did the same thing. I think that what I would like to do later today, depending on the kid situation, after I get the kids to bed, let's just after I get the kids to bed, I'll come back and I'd like to upgrade this Initializer plus because I know what the patterns are. I know what these things should look like. And I need to come up with a nice way of naming my projects so that the image name that comes out of it is the same across the board. And then I can really simplify the build, the config YAML and the build YAML. But it's working. Do you feel like you are in a good spot where you can go forward?
Yeah. I can figure this out. That's
I
not
know.
an issue.
I know you can. Let's do this. Let's put your stuff. Like if anybody wants to reach out to you and find you, I know that I have this. Actually, just throw it in the chat, and I'll put it up on the screen. Put your URLs that you want
Okay.
people to look for, and I'll do the same. I know we've got a couple of these good ones here. So I'm gonna throw this one up there. Here's your Twitter. Okay. So there's your Twitter. I know we have refactorfirst.com.
You can
And
copy all of them from the Twitter profile.
Boom. There we go. Oh yeah. So yeah, maybe that's the best one. We get all your stuff from the Twitter profile. Excellent.
Yes.
We did it. You know, I honestly thought we'd go a little bit faster, but again, it's kind of goes to the secrets and stuff. But still, like, it's good for me to revisit it. You know, I learned some things along the way. I think it'd be good. I'll turn this into a blog post so that other people can copy and paste and know where to go. I get asked this question a lot, so I think this is a valuable video.
Yes,
I had
it
fun.
is.
I'm glad that you made it. I wish I could hang out a little bit longer, but I want to go and hug my kids. Because just like you, I was at Spring Isle last week, and let's keep the conversation going though. I would love to do this again at some point, and that you're doing stuff with Home Assistant. I'm rebuilding all of my infrastructure, and I don't have anything Home Assistant running right now. So I'm basically repaving my entire home lab, and it'll be fun to come back and revisit this and see what else you're working on, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Yes,
thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thank you actually for helping me out too. I learned a lot actually in this 2-hour session. It was
wonderful.
A lot.
I'm going to put the link to the repository that you were working on today. I'm going to put that over here. I'll run that across the bottom. Watch this. I'm getting super fancy. So boom, look at that. Did it go?
No.
Nope. Here we go. There it is. That's the repository that you were working on today. So I did mine, but this is the one that you were working on. So if anybody wants to see how we did and all the commits are there, it's public. Thank you for making it public for others. And yeah, good job. Good job.
Yes.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Get some sleep. And I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a bunch. See ya.
Yes. See ya. Bye-bye.